all of these big deviants is all catching hell in 2024. It's up for all of them. It don't matter if you Diddy or whoever you is.
But when you really, like, once I got really invested in music, you know, that's initially all I wanted to work, Steve. And then the film and television stuff, I started to look closer at it, and it was exciting. It's a challenge for me to be a part of those projects because the process is a little different. Like, instinctively, when I'm writing music, it's right the first time.
A baby oil is, it just go with everything. You can get baby oil on pizza. I done got it on pizza before. You taste it, you can't even hardly taste it. I done had baby oil all around my mouth before. I don't even know what's on there. It's just a baby oil type night. It's just baby oil. All right. Praise the Lord, baby oil.
50 Cent has been working on this documentary for almost 2 years. The footage he has is insane. The people he got speaking about Diddy is...
When 50 Cent posts a cryptic message, the industry no longer dismisses it. Experience has shown that his warnings tend to come before disruption, not after. This time, the message was brief and unsettling. Your time is running out. No documents. No names. No direct accusations. Yet almost immediately, one name began circulating across online platforms: Steve Harvey. That alone drew attention. Harvey represents stability in entertainment. Measured. Faith-centered. Family-oriented. Known more for guidance and life advice than controversy. He presents himself as someone who has mastered the game and now teaches others how to win it. So why would 50 Cent, coming off a documentary that unsettled Hollywood, even appear to place Harvey within the frame? The answer isn't rooted in accusation, but in patterns. That documentary wasn't only about wrongdoing. It focused on influence, silence, and selective truth. And in moments like these, the quiet figures often attract more scrutiny than the loud ones. Steve Harvey said nothing, and that silence became the focal point.
Diddy, around the time of his arrest, thought, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to be exonerated later, so I'm going to film all this, and then I can use it in my big comeback later when I'm not in jail. Didn't work out the way he thought, and it turns out he went to jail for a few years. All right, he didn't get the full amount, but he still got a few years. And 50 Cent somehow managed to pay for the footage off of the videographer. Probably Diddy's worst nightmare, this. It's got to be up there. Now, we're going to get into what's in the actual documentary, and hell.
For years, 50 Cent has shaped his public image as someone who understands how the entertainment industry actually functions behind closed doors. He never presents himself as a moral authority. Instead, he positions himself as someone who survived while others fell. That's why his warnings carry more weight today than they once did. When his Netflix documentary Sean Combs, The Reckoning, premiered in early December 2025, it did more than generate headlines. It reinforced the belief that the situation extended beyond a single individual. The narrative pointed toward a system built on protection, silence, and longevity. With Combs now facing confirmed federal consequences and an ongoing legal process, that chapter appears to be closing. What unsettled audiences was the sense that the documentary only revealed a fraction of a much larger story.
The core theme to be, you didn't do anything wrong. You didn't do anything wrong on any front.
By the way, these conversations, the lawyer had no idea he was recording them. So when the lawyer's like, yeah, we need everyone to believe you did nothing wrong, it kind of takes away from when the lawyer is out in public saying, yeah, my client is completely innocent. And now he's showing the behind the scenes where he clearly didn't think he was very innocent. So not Diddy's smartest move. However, throughout this journey, you'll see he makes a lot of crazy decisions.
I don't think it's working. I've listened. I've been a superb client, as you said. I jumped on the plane. I'm coming to New York, but I'm just running around waiting for a shoe to drop.
He's himself right now, in case you can't tell, and he really doesn't look good.
It's the middle of September, and there's still no indictment.
Bro, then you have to have a spokesman. You have to have some sort of comms to constantly be pushing that, Mark. Because you may just be a person that you just may watch CNN. You know what I'm saying? And there's 9 billion people in the world, and 7 billion of them is on Instagram. and TikTok.
He's basically trying to get control of the narrative. That's what he's really worried about. He wants public perception to be, this was all bullshit. Unfortunately for him, we had all seen the CCTV of him beating the shit out of Cassie. So, like, we know you're not a good guy, man. That's out there. A statement from your solicitor is really not going to change that.
We have to find somebody that'll work with us, whether they're from this country or from another country. It could be somebody that has dealt in the dirtiest of dirty business of media and propaganda.
We need to brainwash some motherfuckers right now, and we need people who are used to working with the dirtiest of dirty, because that's what he is, and he's admitting it. How could you let this footage fall into the hands of 50 Cent, my guy? And honestly, it always comes down to money with Diddy, because Diddy didn't get rich just because he was, you know, clever in music. Diddy got rich because he robbed people all the time, and him not taking care of the people around him, it just comes back to bite him a million times over.
It's like we have a movie, you're speaking this language, and you know what I'm saying, we need subtitles, and we're not providing the audience with subtitles. And I invited you to this movie, and you in this thing, you don't know what's going on. You just see you just see the images, you know, quickly. Now it has a whole life of its own.
I gotta say, this whole doc was edited well. When he said you just see the pictures and they cut to the CCTV. Well done, 50. You nailed that, son. If you're going to take him down in style. So you get a clear window from the jump here into Diddy's psyche. He doesn't give a f*** about Cassie or any of these girls. He doesn't give a f*** about anyone. It's save yourself mentality, and it's crisis mode. And you can see on his face, like, well, you know he's got a drug problem. This is at an all-time high of his drug taking, surely. Because he...
Around the same time, other high-profile figures took similar steps, deleting old posts, distancing themselves, and acting as if certain connections never existed. The central question circulating now isn't whether Steve Harvey committed a crime, because there is no evidence to suggest that. The question is whether he knew more than he ever chose to say. In Hollywood, awareness and action are treated very differently in court. But in public opinion, those distinctions blur quickly. That gray area is where speculation grows. The discussion sharpened when attention returned to Diddy's brief relationship with Lori Harvey in 2019, a detail that began to feel less random as people examined broader patterns.
On P. Diddy, and this one ain't pretty, because it involves one of your most favorite television talk show hosts, Steve Harvey. Yes, apparently, there's a little birdie going around Hollywood saying that in the late 90s, Diddy, which I know about this because I had a friend who worked detail on the party, invited Steve Harvey to one of his famous freak-offs and then recorded Steve Harvey in a very compromising position with somebody else, if you know what I mean. Which doesn't bode too well for Mr. Family Man, you know what I mean? So the freak-off situation got pretty crazy. There was a tape circulating. I have seen the tape. But the problem here is Diddy has been blackmailing Steve Harvey for the last 25 years, including, and this is also some reports that I've been able to verify, Diddy was dating his daughter, as well as Diddy's son was dating his daughter, and people said reports that Diddy was using her as an ATM machine. It's disgusting to my core to hear accusations like this and to have to confess this to you people, but the truth must come to light. And all these disgusting stories.
At the time, commentators dismissed the situation as overanalyzed celebrity gossip. Headlines framed it as unexpected but harmless. Photos showed smiling faces, relaxed moments, and public warmth. What drew deeper attention later wasn't the relationship itself, but the proximity of Steve Harvey and the overlapping family dynamics surrounding it. Some debated timelines and boundaries. Others emphasized consent, personal choice, and close family bonds. Publicly, the moment was wrapped in positivity and congratulations. Yet beneath the surface, unease lingered for some observers who felt the situation blurred lines that shouldn't be blurred.
Did Diddy's son date her?
Yes, that cannot be true.
Sounds like someone's got Diddy issues.
And by someone, we mean him. Because they actually look pretty happy.
Diddy and Harvey, they're heating things up in Italy. Notice her arm is on the back of his chair.
Shocking! For some reason. But yes, Diddy's now getting super cozy with Steve Harvey's daughter, who Diddy's son, Justin Combs, used to hang out with.
I don't think that her and Justin were even that serious. They were just out in the club a couple times.
I think it's more interesting that Steve Harvey's there.
Survey says the number one most interesting thing about this photo is
Diddy and his son are Eskimo brothers.
And to make it more interesting,
So his son on this trip?
They were there. They're not in these pictures, but I think they left.
He is dating his son's ex-girlfriend when his son was there as well.
But if his son's moved on, why not? Puff has an unbelievably close relationship with all of his sons. I don't think it's something that he would do if it was a big, huge deal.
You like who you like. The exception to I like who I like is accept my son's exes.
So congrats, you two look really.
Commentators reframed the relationship as strategic rather than personal. Others went further, suggesting hidden arrangements, claims unsupported by documents, witnesses, or confirmation from anyone involved. These narratives exist entirely within rumor culture. But speculation spreads fastest when it aligns with existing beliefs. Long before any documentary, whispers about Diddy's private gatherings had circulated for decades. Against that backdrop, audiences began asking tougher questions, especially as Steve Harvey never publicly addressed or dismissed the rumors in any direction. In today's attention economy, silence doesn't slow a story. It accelerates it. More extreme theories even attempted to link Harvey to unverified claims involving secret recordings and coercion, despite no reliable source ever supporting those allegations and many being flagged as misinformation. Still, such claims persist largely because recent revelations confirmed that extensive private recordings did exist within that broader world, keeping suspicion alive even without proof.
Walking the planet though.
Why would he be recording all of that shit leading
How did
up?
50 get that footage?
Yeah, that's the crazy part.
I heard
so like the first 10 minutes and it's like footage from Diddy right before he got arrested.
They said because Diddy was either shooting a documentary or had somebody filming everything.
Yeah.
So he bought the footage from that company?
That would be my guess.
That's hilarious.
That's what I heard. So I heard something like that. I don't know. But why would you be recording that if you did it?
I think he thought he was going to get off. Beat it, and then he would have a document of him overcoming the situation.
But showing what?
I mean, it's nothing. It's nothing like particularly inflammatory. It's just him going around the city and talking to his attorneys and trying to figure it out. But it's juxtaposed against. They have a lot of incredible archival footage. Like they really spent a lot of money. And when you look at it, you're like, God, like Diddy really has been in the press for 35, 40,
basically his whole life.
And they go way, way back. Like, I
heard they go back to the basketball game.
Before that, I mean, there's pictures of him in Mount Vernon. There's like a 5-year-old kid, childhood friends. Like, it's very thorough. I mean, the one criticism I've read, and I don't know how fair it is it doesn't delve into the victim stories as much as it could, but I'm only 2 episodes in, and there is one woman in, I think, episode 1, and it's like a very emotional scene where she recounts some of the stuff that happened to her. Like, I think it's well done so far.
Wow. I'm gonna watch it this weekend. I just, for me, it's just like, I don't know why you would be recording that, because from the clips that I saw, it just seems like the highest level of arrogance, and it seems like he's just trying to manipulate his way out of this situation.
He talks about that on the tape.
That's what I'm saying.
Wow.
Like,
this is how we're going to play the media. This is how we're going to manipulate the media.
What? Wow. Oh, but imagine if you're recording it thinking you're going to make the doc. He wasn't thinking he's going to put any of that.
Don't say that out loud.
It's like the book example. Yeah, it's all right if she writes a book because we'll go back and edit it. What happened is they recorded it. They probably thought they could edit it and frame it how they wanted to, and then fell apart. And I'm guessing whoever filmed it was like, well, he's never going to buy this footage from me because he's in jail now. And then 50's tapped in.
Oh, I have to see this.
Well, my point is, why would I ever be talking like that in front of anybody? Even if I felt that way, why would I be having that conversation to be recorded?
Well, that's one of the themes in the doc, is that at a certain point, and they trace it back to City College, because he skated on that, essentially, he believed he was untouchable.
Skated on shine. Did they talk about that?
Yeah, I mean, we haven't even got. I mean, the first episode, it's still Uptown Records, right? And they have some really like crazy footage from inside the event at City College, which I've never seen before, and you can see him in the middle of like the chaos. It's pretty damning footage. Wow. And the case that's made is he beat that. He had no business beating that. The label at that time wanted him gone. Andre Harrell fought for him, kept him around, and then once he got past that, he's like,
I can do anything.
I can do anything. I just had an event and 9 people got killed, and I'm the king of New York.
Shit. I'll tell you one thing too, man. A lot of people saying like, you know, they think 50's being vindictive. To those people, I say,
the long-standing tension between 50 Cent and Sean Combs was never loud warfare. It was a slow-burn conflict shaped by 2 very different paths. Diddy rose from within the industry, mastering influence, access, and relationships until he became a gatekeeper. 50 Cent came from outside that structure, forced to build power independently after being sidelined early on. When his breakthrough arrived in the early 2000s, it came on his own terms. Over time, 50 used humor and public commentary to challenge industry figures, while Diddy remained mostly silent. That contrast fueled speculation about unseen dynamics. Still, the facts remain unchanged. Steve Harvey has not been charged, investigated, or publicly implicated in any wrongdoing. His career continues without visible disruption. Those realities weaken accusations rather than support them. Yet questions persist about his choice to remain silent rather than issue a clear denial. In Hollywood, silence can represent caution, strategy, or personal resolve. And uncertainty is where conspiracy narratives grow fastest. One of the most unsettling aspects of the reckoning wasn't who appeared, but who didn't. Online discussion quickly focused on names rumored to be excluded due to legal sensitivity or influence, reinforcing the idea that the full story may extend beyond what has been shown.
Started hanging out with Diddy. And, you know, he also speaks on how, you know, Snoop, he did the Steve Harvey show with Diddy after Tupac got killed. Check this out.
Okay. It's downloading right now.
Then you look at the scenario how everybody used Pac to make their stuff famous or make their project better. You got people who use their songs for Pac and tell them how much they love Pac, but they do songs for Puffy. You got Steve Harvey, you know, this mother telling, well, Pac, according to everybody else, he brings Snoop and Puffy on there and say, these are dudes who's running this in the East Coast, West Coast.
What's up, Snoop? What's up, huh? Hey, whoa. Wait a minute, fellas here. Hold up. You know, I know all about this East Coast, West Coast rivalry thing here, but we in Chicago now. This rivalry stuff, we gotta stop it, man. We stop that, we stop a lot of this violence.
Yo, Steve, check this, man. All that East Coast, West Coast stuff is a bunch of media hype. It's been my dog from day one, you know what I'm saying? It's all good between me and him. That's my peoples.
For real, that's what we came in for. We came in to light it up and ride it up. We make music for him.
Now, Pac, if you love Pac so much, how you with the motherfucker that everybody say got something to do with the first get down that happened to Pac in New York? Then the second one.
Diddy was a big part of this culture. You know, right. His after parties, you know, were a part of the BET experience. So, you know, life comes at you fast, but, you know, Kevin had to address the elephant in the room.
Yo, you see how people act when you won't let them come on stage and get a fake apology so they can promote that little whack song?
As far as receipts, here is what Mace had to say about that.
Yo, I did this talking about he want receipts. Let's start with your mother. Your mother got the receipts. Everything is in your mother's name. That's the one who got the receipt. You need more proof? Biggie ain't here, so Big can't give you no receipts. He dead. Craig Mack can't give you receipts. He dead. What are you talking about? Who else? Black Rob can't give you receipts. He dead. And everybody else you made sign paperwork so they can't talk about what I'm talking about. I'm the only one with the guts. You're not signing. Cause I ain't need the money. All money ain't good money. Remember that. You know who to play with.
I want to know what Justin Bieber, all these. I want to know.
Justin Bieber, look at his life change. His man life, that man is terrified of Puffy. I seen the video. I'm in the streets, dog. People know, fear, dog. You're like, what happened to your number? You like, oh, man, I lost it. Fear, man. You gotta think of all the people, the white folks who've been at the parties. They scared. They don't roll in crowds with niggas and guns. When they get slapped in the mouth at a party for being too high, they shut up. You get what I'm saying? You gotta think of all these people who've been terrified for years. Everybody. But see, people understand. I can say this because I've been saying it while he was out. I'm one of the few people been calling this out for years. They ain't scared of who. I've been telling this where you at. I'm not scared of you. Not saying I'm bad or nothing, but I'm saying like I got the right to speak. I'm not trying to kick him while he down or something. I've been looking in his camera for the longest, telling you I don't like you. I don't like nobody around you, and I don't like what you did to me. I woke up one day, I was 40 years old, didn't have a home, didn't have nothing. I'm like, what the happened?
As momentum built, other high-profile names like Meek Mill, Usher, and Clive Davis were pulled into the conversation, not because of evidence, but because speculation feeds on uncertainty. Fluence, reinforcing the idea that the full story may extend beyond what has been shown.
What's up, King Son? Man, you doing it, man. You deserve it, Daddy. You putting in that work. Proud of you. I love you. Yeah.
I didn't know who the Usher was. You know what I'm saying? It was one of those type of situations. And when people say, yo, man, I'm getting out that industry and everything like that. Puff sent this little kid to the hospital. How he sent him to the hospital? Man, bleeding from and that's what was said. So I didn't even have a name for the kid at the time. Then you heard, and that's what happened. And that's just, that's something that you heard. You don't know if it's true, you just heard it. So, and just to hear this, and this new thing where they saying that they got kids coming forward and said that he did that, man, that's crazy. And like I just said, that's just something that I heard. It's something that I didn't know. It's something that I ain't see. A lot of people want to, because Gene Deal has spoken on certain things that I've heard, I have spoken on it. But then they were just trying to say, I know. No, I'm not scared to say what I heard. And if there's any truth to it, then it's truth to it. Let them find it. Things that I've saw or things that I've witnessed and been a part of, I've said it. I'm not afraid to say what I saw or what I didn't see. A lot of people want to make up. I don't make up things. When I say Puff go in the room with two girls, you understand, and another guy and a rapper, and then all of a sudden they cousin try to go in the room, I throw them up against the piano, they run out the room grabbing towels, and they still had two girls in the room. But people want to make up a lot of bull and say what they want to say and flip it the way they want to.
A lot of people are curious about the status of P. Diddy.
Status of what?
P. Diddy. Diddy.
Like puppy. The status of puppy.
What do you make of that situation? All right. No comment from Clive Davis on P. Diddy. Mr. Davis, you were a major influence on the career of P. Diddy. Have you spoken to him since the federal raid?
Yes.
Have you spoken to Sean Combs? Any comment, Mr. Davis? Any comments about Diddy? He credits you as one of his mentors.
Each name carried its own theories and baggage. Some were framed as victims, others as observers, and a few as untouchable power figures. Steve Harvey was never officially included among them. Yet his name hovered near the edge of the conversation as audiences recognized a familiar truth: exposure in Hollywood is rarely accidental. Some stories are fully told. Others are carefully edited. That reality unsettles people because when information is filtered, silence begins to look suspicious by default. Harvey's lack of fallout, combined with his refusal to address the rumors, has fueled the belief among some that certain figures are shielded not necessarily by innocence, but by the potential consequences of exposure. When Cat Williams spoke in early 2024 about deception and moral branding within the industry, many dismissed it as exaggeration. Now those clips are being revisited less as comedy and more as warning. He never named Steve Harvey, but his criticism of public virtue paired with private compromise unsettled audiences because it challenged trusted images. Harvey's brand is built on faith, discipline, and guidance. When a figure like that is even loosely connected to controversy, the reaction intensifies not because of evidence, but because of contrast. That is the pressure point 50 Cent understands. Questioning an image can be more powerful than making an accusation. By implying rather than naming, he leaves the audience to draw conclusions while watching Steve Harvey's silence more closely than ever.
It's clear they had some issues with Pac, and Pac died, and all of a sudden you chilling with Puffy. Back then it just, okay, now you can say what you want. You go all grandfathers, I guess. You know what I mean? That's different now. But back then I think it was weird. It was tasteless. You know what I mean? It didn't seem like you really had that much love for Pac. You could have just, you know what I mean? Unless he pressured them or like questioned Puffy, like, yo, what's up with this? What's up with that? Then you could say, you know what I mean? No problem. Like somebody said, okay, I believe somebody mentioned that they seen a video with me and the dude Prodigy or one of the dudes from ID, as if I was with. They don't know the backdrop of that. I went to his hotel room ready to fight. Like, bro, I'll fight everybody in that room one-on-one. Even if I lose, it doesn't matter. The Outlaws was with me. My homie Tiny, the Mexican homie, was with me. I didn't go there and say, let me get in a video with these guys. I went there knocking on their door. Doom, doom, doom. Tell them dudes to come out. What's up with y'all? What's up with you and Pac? You got a problem with Pac? Because we could just fight like man to man, face to face, and then shake hands. That was my approach with them. But when they told me they didn't have no problem, I don't mind being with you. You know what I mean? I don't mind shaking your hand because they told me they had love for Pac. So that's different. You know what I mean? If he come out and say, well, I questioned Puffy about it. I believe that he didn't, he loved Pac. That's my opinion. I can move the way I want to move. So when people try to, I noticed somebody, I think on your page do that. Well, Napoleon was in the video with Mobb Deep. They don't know how I got in that video with Mobb Deep. You know what I mean? I pulled up on him but I'm the type of person, I never been a bully type of person. You know what I mean? If I talk to a person like a man and they tell me face to face, look, I got love for Pac, I'm comfortable to know if I can look in their eyes, if I believe what they said, I have the right to say, okay, no problem, I believe you. You know what I mean? And maybe that's what Snoop went through. I don't know. But let the people know, because it was too early back then. Pac just had died. You know what I mean? Like, he had the right to say, the reason why I'm rolling with Puffy, I questioned him about my homie. He gave me this answer. So then he did what he had to do. But it just, you know what I mean? I never really agree with that, to be honest. The same way I couldn't be on the stage with him. When they wanted to do that tribute, I just couldn't do it. Like, I really felt in my heart, like, man, I can't believe this about that.
To be clear, as of today, there are no charges, lawsuits, investigations, or verified evidence linking Steve Harvey to any wrongdoing. What remains is silence, erased praise, and a warning that stays deliberately vague. 50 Cent continues to imply without naming. The internet continues filling in the blanks. And Steve Harvey offers no response. In an industry where clarity often arrives years later, that quiet leaves one central question. Is silence proof that there's nothing to address, or is it simply the safest move when the truth is too complex for a soundbite? Share your thoughts in the comments. Subscribe for more updates. And until next time, stay sharp.